All right, good morning. So we're on the way to the gym, but I wanted to read this DM that I got from Aaron, um, and discuss it with you guys because you guys might be going through the same thing. So let's see what we can do. See what we can do. He says, "I'm Aaron, 35, from Wisconsin. I work a pretty standard 9 to 5 in accounting. Nothing crazy, but mentally draining. I've been running 4 days a week for almost a year now. No big breaks, no long layoffs. I'm proud of that part. Uh, what's messing with me is I don't feel better at running. I'm not slower, but I'm not really faster either. My easy runs still feel hard. My hard runs feel hard in a different way. Everyone says consistency pays off, but what if consistency just keeps you the same? I see posts about breakthroughs and PRs and transformations, and I keep wondering if I'm doing something wrong or if this is just what the middle looks like. How long are you supposed to stay patient before you actually change something?" Great question, Aaron. Great question. I was actually in the same situation not too long ago, where I was striving for a certain time and I didn't feel like I was actually getting it. And I noticed that not only do you have to have the consistency of running 4 days a week for the past year. That's consistent. That is consistent. No big layoffs or anything like that. So you're not taking any real breaks. So there's a couple things that may get in your way, and I'll tell you what happened for me, so that way maybe you can relate to it. Not only was I running a good amount of time, we were probably running roughly the same amount of days. I did take breaks, maybe like a week off or something like that, but you were a lot more consistent than I was. But what was getting to me was I have family problems. Work was also draining for me, and I wasn't really taking rest as serious as I should. So I was and I was also going to the gym at the same time. So I wasn't really getting proper rest. I was always running on E. And I think that might be something that you want to look into. How are you sleeping? What does your nutrition look like? Are you eating well? You might be running 4 days a week. Are you stretching, allowing your body to break apart all of the stiff muscles and stuff? Those are a couple of things that you should be looking into. I would definitely look into your mentality. Not mentality, but work. If it's mentally draining, and then you're running on your work days as well, that's tough. If it's a 9 to 5, I would invite you to see if you can go to the gym before work, so that way, if possible, that way you can get that out of the way, get your running out of the way, exert all that. And a lot of the times people say that once they work out they feel better. The endorphins are going through, the dopamine, the correct dopamine, instead of like just scrolling on the phone. Those are the things that make your day better. So if you get that run before work, before you're mentally drained instead of after, I think that would be a better situation for you. And when you when you make those little changes, you can notice quite a few benefits in them. another thing, if I would definitely suggest you choosing a goal. I think choosing a goal, I don't believe in your DM that you said anything about a goal. So definitely choose a goal to go through and strive for. You know, if you've been running for the past year and you haven't ran any races, I think that would be a good thing. That way you can see the environment, because the race line it's a whole different beast. You're there with hundreds of other people, if not dozens, and when you're around and that's the environment I love, where you're running against other people, but everybody is racing themselves at the same time racing you. Because you might have a PR that's like, let's say 5K in 25 minutes, and somebody else might have a PR that's a 5K in 22 minutes, but you guys are both running with each other and you both can help each other get that goal. So I would definitely sign up for a run, whether it's 5K, 10K, half, and put it on the calendar. Now you have something to strive for. Now you have something to train for. And then, I don't know if you have speed runs in there. You said you have some hard runs. And those hard runs are difficult because they're hard, but they don't have to be hard. I would suggest that you properly plan the runs, so that way it works best with your schedule. You know, not everyone has to do the good old tempo Tuesdays and workout Wednesdays and threshold Thursdays, or, you know, anything like that. You know, if your threshold has to be on a Saturday, it has to be on a Saturday. You know, that kind of thing. You say you work a 9 to 5. I'm not sure. I'm gonna assume that it's a Monday through Friday kind of thing. So your long ones may be on the weekends. And it's always a good idea to give at least 2 days from a hefty workout, like a long run or some speed work. Give 2 days before you enter the next workout. For example, if your speed runs are on Wednesday, give 2 days before you give a long run. That'll be good for you. I do think that there's nothing wrong with you. There just might be something that you need to change for the proper setup, so that way you benefit from the workouts. Because if you're tired, you may be working out, but you're not getting the most benefit because you could be putting in effort, and it's more effort than the return that you're getting. So you can run for an hour on a Monday when you're tired, exhausted, mentally drained and everything, and sure, you're getting a workout in, but everyone can agree that if you were to do the workout when you're well rested, your mentality is clear, you feel energetic, and you want to do the workout, you're gonna get a different result than you would than what you were tired. You're still gonna get a result, but I would argue that everyone would agree that the result would be more beneficial if you were well rested. You can always take a week off. You won't lose any major gains until after like 8 to 10 days. So just take a week off if you need, and you should be good. Allergies is kicking me. I need to sneeze. Got it. So yeah, I hope that helps. Let's go.